It's very hard to define. It's also a thing where you have to have this meanness, this toughness that you can't really develop inside air-conditioned gyms, on Lake Travis football field. You can't really come from a privileged life and have that work ethic, if that makes sense, to make it in fighting. So I'll never forget when I was with Mike Tyson, I said, yeah, fighting, you got to come from the streets. And he stopped me in my tracks. He goes, it comes from the gutters, motherfucker. The gutters. Not the streets, the gutters. It's just a tough route to go. I tell my kids all the time, they'll see UFC, and obviously I watch it nonstop, so it's always on at the house. And my little one, Bossy, who's my most athletic, will go, Dad, I'm going to fight in the UFC. I'm like, buddy, how do I tell you this? UFC fighters don't come from Lake Travis. UFC fighters don't come from a house that's near a lake. It's just, could they? I've never seen it. Maybe you're the outlier because your dad did, maybe. But I'll give you an example. There was this baseball player around this area, and this very famous coach coached him. And the coach told me the story. And he's the most athletic kid, the most technical. This kid did everything right. He was basically a protege. He was a prodigy. He had every God-given talent. His swing was perfect. His mechanics were perfect. He was a first-round draft pick. And the way baseball works is when you're drafting the first round, you don't go straight to the Dodgers or straight to the Cubs and you're in the fucking starting order and you're playing third base or third base. No. You go to the farm league, the minor league, and you work your way up. Some guys do it within 6 months or a year. Some guys it takes 5 years. Some guys it takes 10 years before they get their shot up there. It's a tough go. And so he asked the scout, he goes, that kid's the next thing, right? That kid's going to be the next fucking Bryce Harper. That kid's going to be the next, Paul Skeens or what the fuck. Name your favorite baseball player. The scout goes, no. I bet he's done in a year. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And he goes, here's the thing, is in minor leagues, you're on buses. And not like fancy tour buses like Burt Kreischer and fucking Jelly Roll are on. You're on school buses. And you're going from town to town, Iowa, Oklahoma in the middle of the summer. And you're sleeping in Motel 6s and shitty hotels. You're making $300 a month. You're eating shitty food. It's a grind. Now, that prospect I was telling you about who got drafted in the first round, his dad owns a hedge fund. He's worth damn near $1 billion. So that kid has an out. That kid knows, if I stop playing baseball, I'm okay. He had a plan B. Those Dominicans or Puerto Ricans who are on that bus have no rich dad, have no plan B. Their only way to make a living for themselves is by making it in the fucking baseball big leagues. It's their only revenue source. It's the only chance they have at anything. So for them, riding on those buses, playing in fucking 100-degree weather in the middle of the summer or in the spring, sleeping on the floor, eating fucking fast food, not getting sleep, busting around, to them it's, hey man, this is what we do. That rich kid it's too tough. It's too tough. So my point is, especially when it comes to MMA, it's too tough. You can't come from a privileged world and make it in this sport. You can't. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. It's impossible. There's guys that will attempt it, like Randy Couture's son. I'm sure he didn't grow up in the gutters. Was he the best you've ever seen? No. Now, you can make it, whatever that means for you. But as far as being like ranked, perennial top 10, having a 5 to 10 year career, I just don't think it's possible. I don't. Fighting's a very, very different animal. At Kobe.
Brendan Schaub accidentally admitted that he grew up rich while trying to claim he's from the streets. Now, Brendan Schaub has claimed he grew up without money and from the streets. That's why he was so good at sports. He wasn't good at sports. He's not from the streets in any way, shape, or form. By the way, you can look at his father, Peter Schaub, the founder, president, and CEO of Neo Certified. And before that, he was the IT director of marketing at ICM Mortgage, Denver Technical Director for Howard Systems International, and senior vice president of DPSC. And I think when he was that senior vice president is when that company sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. So Brendan Schaub's father is a multimillionaire, and Brendan Schaub grew up rich. So now he accidentally admitted that because he was trying to make a point to his own kids that he didn't want them to become fighters, because to be a fighter, you got to be from the streets, you got to be hungry, and you can't grow up with money. And then he said, except for your dad, which he said on accident. But it's a hilarious thing because Schaub also knows that if you become a fighter, you didn't really make it in real sports. Hence, he doesn't want his kids to become fighters. He wants them to make it in real sports, which he never did. He never made it in any real sport. He played 6 plays on special teams in college, then showed up for a public workout for the Buffalo Bills training camp on day 1 and never got a call back. So that was the reason why he went off on that whole rant. But once again, the line, he contradicts himself within the same sentence because he's redacted. He's a dummy. And he's always trying to say the thing he thinks needs to be said, but he never follows it himself. So when he's talking to Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan is talking about the overzealous baseball dads and sports parents, Schaub is just agreeing with him, even though Schaub was talking about himself. But Schaub just says what he thinks people want to hear and what needs to be said. So this whole, I don't let my kids have iPads or phones or game systems. He says that because he thinks that's the right thing to do, when it needs to be done in moderation, you dummy. By the way, Brendan Schaub has no interest, has never mentioned that his kids are going to be good in academics in any way, shape, or form. You would think with all the crap they buy, Brendan Schaub's kids will have the greatest education money can buy. They will not. You will not pay for private schools or anything unless it does well with sports or something. By the way, they're 6-10 in playing t-ball and flag football. He's insane. But I just love the fact that he accidentally let it slip right there that he grew up rich. Because of course he did. All of the Rogan crew did. And that whole situation is weird, even with his father and stuff. Because I don't even think Schaub's brother has a job. He just completely lives off his father's money. Schaub still gets money from his dad every month. And even though he's going broke, we just expect daddy to step in, although something tells me he's gone to the daddy well a little too many times. And at some point in time, he might even get cut off by his father. But, the fact that he's over there trying to pontificate to Panther in Philadelphia about, you can't do it if you got... Isn't it easier if you got rich parents because they can, afford equipment and afford to fly you places and stuff? Because his whole point wasn't even fighting. He was talking about sports in general. But Schaub's an idiot. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.